Ooh, fish on. Ken Whiting here with another gear review, and in this video I'm reviewing the Isle Switch Pro and the Bixpy K1 outboard motor. Now the Isle Switch isn't a new paddlecraft for me. I actually did a full review of the original Isle Switch about 2 years ago, and I even gave it a Paddle TV award. Why did I give it an award? Well, it is a really well thought out paddlecraft. It's designed as a hybrid, both a stand-up paddleboard and an inflatable kayak. And the way it does that is it's a stand-up paddleboard platform, but it comes with a really nice kayak seat and kayak foot brace system so that you can quickly change it from stand-up paddleboard to an inflatable kayak. So here's a bit more information about the Isle Switch Pro. It retails for $1,200 US. It's 11 feet, 6 inches long. It's 35.5 inches wide and 6 inches thick. It weighs only 23 pounds. And it has a capacity of 475 pounds. Like the original Switch, it features a high-backed inflatable seat, an inflatable foot brace. It has the Isle Link Connect system, which lets you add accessories and easily modify where things are mounted on the board. It has a single large click-in fin, and it has 4 carry handles, 1 at the front, 2 in the rear, and 1 in the center. The package comes with a bag that doubles as a backpack and a roller bag, a breakdown carbon paddle that can be configured as both a kayak paddle and a stand-up paddle, a leash, a hand pump, and a repair kit. So if I already reviewed the Isle Switch and gave it a Paddle TV award, why am I reviewing it again? Well, they've made some significant changes, but not a lot of changes. It really is the same board, and it has the same reasons that I gave it an award. It's held on to those reasons. It's a good hybrid stand-up paddleboard and kayak. It's also incredibly light. Well, this one is 23 pounds. For a 12-foot or 11.5-foot long inflatable kayak or paddleboard is fantastic. It couldn't be easier to move around. Well, the big changes they've made are 2. The first one is they've integrated Isle's AirTech Pro composite technology into this board. And what that does is it makes this already very rigid board about 300% more rigid. So this thing really does feel like, well, it doesn't feel like a hard stand-up paddleboard, a hard shell stand-up paddleboard. It still feels like an inflatable stand-up paddleboard, but it has the rigidity, it has the stiffness very close to a hard shell paddleboard. And that's really cool. The second thing they've done is they've added a mounting kit for a motor to turn this thing into basically an SUP. Now the mounting kit is designed to accommodate a Bixpy motor or a Torpedo motor. I tested the Bixpy K1 outboard kit. Now the Bixpy K1 outboard kit retails for $1,300 US. It has a combined weight of the motor and battery of around 10 pounds, and the motor outputs 33 pounds of thrust. Now the battery is around 25 volts and kicks out around 380 watt hours. It has 12 forward speeds and 3 reverse speeds. The faster you run it, the faster you're going to go through the battery. They say that at top speed, it'll run for 80 minutes, whereas if you go at slower speeds, it'll last up to 12 hours. Now, I just paddled for 2 full days, or motored for 2 full days, and I still have half a battery left. And so, to me, that sounds very accurate. Now, it operates with a wireless remote control, which you can strap to your wrist, strap to your paddle, really strap anywhere to the boat. Now, since I've already done a full review about the Isle Switch and nothing has changed in how this boat performs and its key features, it's only improved, I'll leave a link in the description box down below for you to go watch that full review. But I just did an overnight fishing trip in this thing with this combination. And here's what I can tell you about my learnings from that trip. And let's start with the board itself, or the boat. Either or. I took all my camping gear. I had all my sleeping gear, my food, my clothes on the front in one big dry bag, and I had all my fishing gear in the back. It's a substantial amount of extra weight. I didn't notice it at all. This thing has a capacity of 475 pounds, and so you can really load this thing and you're not going to notice a big difference in performance whatsoever. And so for camping purposes, adventuring purposes, top marks. Now for fishing, it's a nice wide platform, easily stand up in this thing, comfortable to sit down. It's a great fishing platform. It's wide open. There's very few things to snag your gear, your line on. The only one thing I did notice on the stand-up paddleboard versus a kayak is kayaks usually have lips, some kind of walls on the side of them to stop gear from falling off of the boat. And so that's something you just have to be aware of in this boat is gear can tumble off the side, but it's just such a big, wide, flat platform. I didn't have that happen once, but it was something I was aware of. So what did I learn about the motor? Well, I haven't used a motor in a long time. It's been around 7 years, and I used to use it semi-frequently when I was filming kayak fishing. It was just a great tool. It left my hands free to film while I could motor around. On this particular trip that I did, I kind of needed the motor. I hurt my shoulder not too far back playing volleyball with my daughter. And then I aggravated it on a recent week-long river epic that I did. And there's no way I would have gone out there and had this adventure if I didn't have the assistance of the motor. And I think that's the big lesson there is a motor provides accessibility. Is it for everyone? No, but it allowed me to get out there. And for some people, it provides that same benefit all the time. It's what allows them to get out there. For other people, it might be as simple as they paddle in a group that are much stronger, and having the motor allows them to keep up and not feel like they're a drag on the rest of the group. It might let you reach further distances and parts of the body of the water that you'd otherwise not be able to reach. Accessibility. On top of that, there is definitely a safety element I learned from the motor. I was on a solo adventure. I was in the backcountry and there's strong current. I needed to be able to paddle hard to get home. If I really did hurt my shoulder out there, or maybe I just threw my back, I slept funny and I totally tweaked my back, who knows what. Having the motor was like having a little safety net out there. If something happened, I could get home. The bottom line is the topic of motors on paddlecraft has been somewhat of a contentious issue, but I don't think it should be. It's not black and white. Few things are. Just like when I do gear reviews, very rarely is this a bad boat and this one a really good boat that everyone should have. No, it's not that simple. It usually comes down to this is good for this type of person and this makes sense for this type of person. And that's the way it is with a motor, is putting a motor on the back of a stand-up paddleboard, a kayak, a canoe, whatever, isn't going to make sense at all to some people. But to other people, it will make a lot of sense, and there's no right or wrong there. So now let's talk value of the Isle Switch Pro. Now, it's a $1,200 product. The truth is, you can get simple, basic, inflatable stand-up paddleboards for much cheaper than this. Of course, you get what you pay for. What do you get for the additional money with the Switch Pro? Well, you get a board that truly converts into a quality inflatable kayak, something with a comfortable seat and foot brace system. You get a board that's 300% stiffer and is going to perform that much better than a basic inflatable stand-up paddleboard. You have little features like the Isle Connect system that lets you truly customize the configuration of this thing. And you have the mounting bracket for a motor if you want. There's a lot of little features on this thing that make it what it is. Plus, you get a carbon kayak paddle that converts into a stand-up paddle, and you get a premium bag with this thing that isn't going to fall apart. It's a backpack and a roller bag. There are a lot of little features that make this package worth the $1,200. Is it for everybody? Well, no. If all you want is bare bones basic inflatable stand-up paddleboard and you don't need that lot of performance from it, then no, there are cheaper options that'll suit you just fine. But for a lot of people, the upgrade right out of the gate, spending the money up front to get a better, more versatile product will make a lot of sense. Now as a combination, $2,500 for the entire kit, $1,200 for the board, boat, whatever, and $1,300 for the motor. Is it worth it? Well, $2,500 for this kit, in my mind, is very worth it. It's a great, incredibly versatile package. Once again, it's not going to be for everybody, but for those people who can't decide whether they want a stand-up paddleboard, do they want an inflatable kayak, do they want an option for a motor at times, or do they need a motor, then at $2,500, this really is, it's a great kit. Well, that's all I have to say about the Isle Switch Pro and the Bixpy K1 outboard kit, but there's a lot of you who can add some real value to this conversation. The Isle Switch has been out for a few years, and I know a lot of you have purchased one and been using it. Would love to hear your comments down below. Share your ideas of what you like, what you don't like, who you think it's for. And same with the Bixpy outboard kit. Share your thoughts on motors on paddlecraft. Good idea, bad idea, or is it depend on the person? Otherwise, I'll leave a link in the description box down below to the full paddling, camping, fishing adventure that I did with this thing. And stay tuned, because I got a lot more gear reviews, paddling tips, and paddling adventures coming your way.